I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside mountain analyst Teri Goldberg. And today, Colorado State, Terry, has a lot that they're playing for.
They do. They actually can have a chance at the Mountain West title here if they do everything right and win out the rest of their season. And you see San Diego State and BYU have some significant losses. There's a chance at them taking the title. This kid has extreme speed. She is a lefty slapper who puts the ball in play and makes the defense make amazing mistakes. She's just a quick runner, makes them make mistakes, and gets on base. Analyst for the last 3 years has been their starting third baseman. She's been asked to be in the starting pitching rotation because of some injuries, and she's done a fantastic job. She is the perfect example of a team player. She will do whatever it takes to help her team out, and she's got a great, consistent bat. This kid is everything you want in a player. She's given herself up for her team in every aspect. She hits the ball solid all 4 years that she's been here. She's been asked to play so many different positions in her career here, especially this year. And what does she do in her last at bat? She drives that ball with her great left-handed swing over the left field fence to end this game in awesome fashion. She needs to get herself on base any way she can. Look at that. She saw the corner's back. She laid the bunt down. It's going right up the middle towards the pitcher, and the catcher's coming out. Normally, you want the catcher to come out very aggressively and grab it. It depends how much of a fielding pitcher you have. But ideally, the catcher comes out aggressively, grabs it, and makes the throw. But obviously, what a great read on her part to get herself on base. Nice drag bunt. What she's thinking right now is, I'm going to help my team in any way I can, and I'm going to do it. She's confident and momentum, and that was a great leadoff to start with to get that momentum going. Reading the defense, they're back on their heels, they're playing far back, drag that bunt. And that's tough when you have a righty up to bat. You didn't know that they can drag a bunt, so I don't doubt that Analyst is right now, she's trying to keep it simple as she does so well. Keep her head steady, see the ball and drive it.
Take a look at this. Analyst from Macaba, senior day. She's the senior.
I tell you what, I'm not surprised by any means, but this couldn't have been written any better. It was a fairy tale, and it ended just like a fairy tale. Great job for her on senior day. She did what she did best. She stayed steady at the plate, kept her head still, waited till the ball got to the outside of the plate, got under it a little bit, but you know what? She lifted it enough to get it out of the ballpark. That is absolutely amazing. Obviously, that trick didn't work for BYU. She just exploded on this ball, and just talk about a confidence booster for this New Mexico team. She just came out, balanced, and just stroked that ball, got her barrel through that zone so fast. That ball got out of here so quickly, and unfortunately, Paige Affleck knew that the minute it came off her bat. But what a phenomenal way to end this game. Haven't beat BYU on this field since '04. What a great accomplishment. Affleck's doing a great job of mixing up her drop ball with her change, and that, again, keep them off balance. That's the key right now. I love to see on 2 strikes another changeup thrown. Again, I don't know if it's the coach in me, but the confidence that she has in that changeup to throw it with 2 strikes, beautiful. It's so great as a coach when you see your pitcher have confidence in throwing that. And to be honest, as a hitter, I've seen 3 changeups in a row, and I've struck out looking. What a great go-to pitch. Oh man, Affleck, that was beautiful, right? What a beautiful pitch. It looks so nice. It comes right down the middle, but your timing is just so off because she threw you off. Her motion doesn't change. It was a beautiful pitch. If you have an open stance or your front foot is stepping a little bit away instead of towards the pitcher, they're stepping a little bit more towards the first baseman. That takes away from that outside pitch, and that's where they're going to sit on, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again, and there it is. Her stance looks pretty decent here, you know, straight up and down, but she steps a little bit more to where she's slapping it, so she's going away from the pitch. She's going towards first base already, and to take advantage of that as a pitcher, throwing a nice outside drop ball is going to get them. That ball had a funny spin on it, so Karamusa had to get it and get rid of it fast. Atangi did a great job base running, heads up, waited for Karamusa to get rid of the ball, and took advantage and went to third base. Good heads up base running as well. Great job by Katie Ingram to be patient in the box, wait for her pitch. This is where the Lobos need to look at trends. If they see Affleck starting to throw more balls than strikes, tell that to your teammates, tell that to your coach. Be more patient in the box, make her throw you a strike. That's a great curveball, and her curveball even drops a little bit. So it is just coming from a left-hander. You're a right-handed hitter. That ball is going to curve into you and then drop as well. And it looks like it might hit you sometimes. And it's a good strike. It's a great pitch. She went right back to that rise that's been working all day for her. This time it even jumps a little bit further out of the zone, starts a little higher, and she chases it. And that's usually what you want with certain levels of the rise ball that you throw. You throw them a little bit harder to get them to chase. She got what she needed. You can just see how Jessica Garcia is swinging the ball well. She hits to all fields. Outside pitch, let it get deep in the zone, drove it past the first baseman, Graham. What a great stroke she has. She is just throwing the barrel so much better, creating things that are happening. This kid hit last year 244, and this year she's hitting over 400. And this is an interesting situation. You have a slapper up to bat, runners at first and second. The shortstop right now is she's responsible for covering third base on a potential steal. So if you leave a little too early, then that slapper puts the ball right in shortstop area. It could be a base hit. And it's a very tough situation as a shortstop because you need to hold your position as long as possible and then go cover third base. That drop curve, I mean, from a lefty to a righty, it's nasty. Personally, I don't like those pitches as a hitter. Love them as a coach for my pitcher to do it. Look at that. Look at that. Ross. She's on fire. She's just got this confidence. Again, she is a bulldog on the mound. She just knows what she wants, and she's going to get it. She knows, here it is. I'm throwing that curveball again, and it just drops down off the table. She has got great intensity and focus here. Coach Beach, being a former pitcher herself, comes in with this pitching staff she's never seen before, who came from a tough season last year, and they really struggled. And she's really instilled a new confidence in them. Their record may not show it, but these kids are coming back. They're throwing the pitches that they used to throw a couple years ago. She's taught them better spins, tweaked a little mechanics, and just kind of got into their head more confidence, which makes a big difference. Talk about a student of the game, De La House, or House as they call her. She's constantly working the coaches for knowledge and information about the game, sharing tendencies that she sees in the game with Coach. Coach Eakin mentioned to us this morning that he takes a lot to that in consideration and actually does make some adjustments due to that. Softball's been dominant since almost its inception.
Look at this.
It's just, it's amazing what they've done here. I mean, this again, the facilities are state-of-the-art, and build it and they will come. What makes the big difference in the world with that Title IX is they get equality with scholarships. When she got there, she had only 5 scholarships to give out, went to 8, then it went to 12, and it makes a big difference with the quality of athlete you can bring to your program. You know, I hate to say it this way, but money speaks, and if you want a competitive program, you need that. Just like we look at BYU here, their facilities, look what kind of program they've put together.
Yeah, you can play.
It's made a big difference for her. She knows how to recruit top talent. She has scholarships to give out. She's an intense coach. She's competitive. It's a very attractive package, and you know, San Diego's not a bad place to live. Coach Beach, DeBruck is doing a fantastic job of keeping that ball low and painting the corners. Was that the game plan going in?
Yeah, you know, we just told her to trust her stuff, and you know, again, if we're going to miss off the plate, and then really just throw her best pitches out there and make them earn every hit they get.
Danielle Castro, she's definitely not a kid that's going to overpower you at the plate. What are some of the things you're telling your hitters to stay within themselves, to get their timing a little bit better, to be patient?
Yeah, they just need to continue to wait on the pitch a little bit. She brings it a little quicker than it looks sometime, and we're just not really timing it real well right now, and we just got to keep trying to get behind the ball and stay behind it and drive it. And we made a few adjustments, I thought, that inning, and we just got to keep plugging away at it.
Paige Affleck on BYU kind of lives and dies on that drop ball. What are you having your batters simply move up in the box to battle that, or what are some of the things you're telling them?
Well, you know, it's difficult right now because she's sort of effectively wild, and I want them to swing the bats, but she's throwing a lot of balls, so that makes it tough. Yes, moving up in the box will help, but we just got to keep swinging the bats.
Sure. Well, good luck, Coach.
Thanks
for joining us.
Thanks.
Coach, coming in, what is your game plan with Paige Affleck coming against such a big, hard-swinging UNM team?
Well, Paige is she's our veteran, and we stick with our strengths. We don't really so much try to adjust to the other team's strengths, because you do what you do and you do it well. So we we focus on what we need to do well to win the game, and that's what we'll do with Paige.
Hey, Lonnie, you guys obviously are coming up to bat, taking your hacks. I mean, after last night's game, I'm sure that makes you happy as a coach, and you're staying right in this game right now. What do you think about your batters?
Yeah, they've definitely made a big change offensively. We're running ourselves a little bit out of innings, but that's okay. We're putting the aggressive mojo on right now, and I like it, and I like their mentality right now.
I was so utterly impressed with how they've turned their season around 180 degrees. I love to see all the little things that they're working on in practice come to the plate. The patience at the plate, them hitting opposite field constantly, home runs, base hits. I mean, these kids are being patient enough to let the pitch come deep into the zone and hit the ball to the other side. I mean, that's just showing how they've grown through the season. I mean, they won only 8 games last year, 1 game in conference, and now they've already won 24 overall and 4 games in conference.
Unfortunately, New Mexico has over a 4 ERA. They played University of Arizona yesterday and they got beat pretty well and got a taste of their own medicine. They got out-hit, lots of home runs against their pitching staff, and their hitters were kind of stifled by the 2 very good pitchers with University of Arizona. First, they're going to be licking their wounds a little bit, I'm sure, and it's going to be a big challenge because the Coach Beach has got to get these kids out of the mindset of playing out of fear again, afraid to lose. That's something they used to do very well. They got over it at the beginning of the year, and now it's kind of creeping up on them with those losses to San Diego State. San Diego State pitchers stifled their hitters for a 200 average. I mean, these kids hit way over 300, so these kids need to learn to just wipe the slate clean, have a bad short-term memory, and go at Boise State because it's tough at their house. It's a very tough regional, but it's not like San Diego State hasn't been here before. They've played UCLA in a regional before. They've played Arizona State in a regional before. And those years that they played them, those teams actually went on to be the Women's College World Series champions. I think right now is the time for San Diego State to take it the next step to the super regionals. And obviously they have to get through these tough teams, Florida State being one of them, but they can do it. Florida State has a very tough pitching staff in their circle. They have a combined ERA of 1.5. Opposing teams are hitting under 200 off of her. And that's the things that they need to think about. Very aggressive on the base pass. Coach Alameda at Florida State is a very aggressive coach. She likes to make the defense make mistakes. She gives her kids the green light to steal on the bases if there's a ball in the dirt, if they see a changeup. Lots of hit and runs, lots of slap and runs. Anytime she gets on base, she not only is a table setter for their team, but she sets the tone for the rest of the game. And when she gets on base and she scores, you're almost guaranteed a Boise State win each time. And the X factor for this team is, without a doubt, hands down, is Allie Crump. This kid's impeccable timing to hit late inning home runs, game-changing home runs that either tie the game or win it outright for them is phenomenal. She's 4 of 8 with her home runs that are game changers. You know, if there was a fantasy softball league, there's no question, hands down, I would have her on my team along with Tara Glover.
I already have her on my fantasy softball team.
I think what surprised me, along with everybody else, is that Hofstra ended up coming out of this region. Nobody expected it. Top seed UCLA got knocked off early by Hofstra. Olivia Galati, straight out of Coach Van Wyck's mouth, is the real deal. I mean, this kid stymied the San Diego State hitters. Haley Miles was silenced. You know, they did have some hits. There weren't a lot of runs overall for the whole tournament. Hofstra, Florida State, San Diego State, UCLA didn't score a lot of runs, and it was all about the pitchers in the circle. I mean, Bailey Misitich was just spectacular. I mean, she was exceptional in the circle, and, you know, unfortunately, she didn't get the runs behind her that she needed. There was key errors made by her team, by Florida State. We had hit by pitches. We had illegal pitches. A lot of those runs, which weren't many, were unearned. So when you get to games like that, down to that, it's usually when you have pitchers duel, it's usually who's going to make the first mistake.
Unfortunately, right now, what's catching up with them is that their pitching and their defense they're causing a lot more runs than their offense can keep up with. And even if you have that powerful of an offense, if you don't have the pitching and you have an over 4 ERA and your defense are making mistakes, you're going to hurt at some point.
Between Allie Crump, Tara Glover, who hit over 700 this past weekend, Devon Bridges, these kids, there was back-to-back home runs, which ended up winning in the bottom of the 7th, ended up winning in the bottom of the 5th. I mean, these kids know when to be clutch. Allie Crump, who's actually the secondary pitcher, plays first base and is a big hitter. She only has 7 home runs this year, but 3 of them have been game winners. So almost half of them are game winners for Boise State.
You know, her team calls her Beast for a reason. I mean, this kid hit over 700 last weekend, and this is amazing. Her slugging percentage was over 2,000. I don't know if I've ever said that about anybody. She is fantastic, phenomenal, amazing, and very humble. And like I said, San Diego State is just following her lead. The rest of the team is picking it up, and they're playing like a playoff team right now. I love how hard she worked at her successes at Otero Junior College when she coached there and at Metro State. And she brought this detail-oriented system to CSU. And what I'm most impressed with what she did with her players is she gets them to play beyond their skill level. And that's not an easy feat to do because that's all mental. And to get these kids to believe in that and be confident in themselves, I mean, that's just going to take them into next season with great success. They've got so many things in common. They both are leadoff hitters, not prototypical leadoff hitters. They're not short gamers or slappers. They have power. Tara Glover has tons of speed. She puts the ball in play and she makes things happen. They both are very dangerous, extremely difficult to pitch to. And one thing I love that they do, they ignite the offense of their team. 1 through 9, once they get going, their offense explodes. They're so exciting to watch. This series is going to be great. What they've been working on a lot at practice has been patience at the plate and to be aggressive on their pitches. And you see that coming to fruition here. What they're doing is they're waiting to hit their pitch instead of Aubrey Zell or Allie Crump's pitch. And that's where they are successful as pitchers. They're getting batters to hit balls that are their strikes, not CSU strikes. So they were patient at the plate, and they did a great job. Obviously, it took 2 wins from Boise State. No question there's going to be one because of the conference champion. If Boise State takes the championship, I think San Diego State has a much better shot where their RPI is right now. I believe their RPI is 42. You never know with the committee that does the RPIs and who's going to, they select 64 teams. I believe 30 of them go to the conference champions, and then you have another 34 to pick from. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into the equation. If San Diego State wins the championship, I think Boise State's on the bubble, but those two are the only two that I think have a shot.